Varsity Quiz Bowl is being made possible by a grant from Pan American Life Insurance Company. And now, back to our moderator, Nell Levitt.
Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second half of our doubleheader and the concluding game of the quarterfinals between St. Martin's School and Sacred Heart, both unbeaten, of course. The winner moves into the semifinal round. Right now, before we begin play, let's ask the individual contestants to introduce themselves. We'll start with Ann Boast.
Ann Boss, Jr. Judith Windhorst, Senior.
Susanna Connick, Senior. Chris Malachias, Senior.
Their alternate is Shannon Pennick, and the coach is Ann Laird. Sacred Heart, welcome back. Girls. And let's see now, on St. Martin's, we have 4 contestants, and no strangers to these cameras. We'll begin with Jean Andre.
Jean Andre, Senior.
Scott Zander, Senior. Hans Jonasson, Jr.
Jill DeMont, Senior.
St. Martin's alternate is John Wallen, and their coaches Bonnie Bain, Bonnie and June Wells. Bonnie and June, it's good to have you back with us at St. Martin's School in this competition to determine the final competitor in the semifinal round. So let's begin right now with this face-off. We're leading up to a lanyap of 20 points, and the question is this. Group with the Falkland Islands, it is the most distant from Argentina and has been...
Sacred Heart, Windhorst.
South Sandwich Islands.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. I'll repeat now for St. Martin's. Group with the Falkland Islands, it's the most distant from Argentina and has been recaptured by British forces.
St. Martin's, Andre.
South Georgia Island.
That's correct. It is South Georgia Island. All right, St. Martin's, you're on the board, and you have a chance now to lanyap of 20 points. This is an audio question. So before I ask the questions, let's listen to the selection. The questions, simply this. Name the title of the selection you just heard and the composer of it.
It's Queen of Spades. It's Running Through the Grass.
Now that was the other one he wrote.
By Paul McCartney.
One of the basic principles of the games we tell the youngsters is, if you don't know it, put out something. It might be right. Now this piece actually should theoretically never end. Perpetual Motion was the name of it, and it's by Johann Strauss Jr. All right. Here we go with another face-off. We're leading into a lanyap of 30 points. A non-Kentucky Derby nominee won the Derby trial by a length and a quarter. For 10 points, can you identify?
Sacred Heart, Windhorst.
Liscapade.
That's correct, for 10 points. All right. Liscapade, you're on the board. Here's a 30-point clue question. You know the structuring. You earn 30 points if you can identify this television personality after the first clue, 20 points after 2 clues, and it'll be 10 points if you need all 3. All right, here's the first clue for 30 points. Remember, it's a TV personality, well known. He was born in 1927 at Lynbrook, New York, son of an Irish immigrant. He grew up in Queens, a bright student, football and roller hockey player, and landed an after-school job as a page at NBC. Okay, you have age, locale, start.
Carol O'Connor.
No. Second clue for 20 now. In 1947, following service in the Marines, and while he was enrolled in law school, he worked part-time at NBC for musician host Bob Smith and his Here's Elmer radio quiz show. That was 47.
Jack Parr.
No. All right, third clue for 10 points. In December of that year with Bob Smith, he jumped to TV in the Howdy Doody Show, where our mystery character debuted as Clara Bell the Clown. On October 3rd, 55, his own show debuted on CBS as an 8 a.m. daily children's show with Mr. Moose, Bunny Rabbit, and Mr. Green Jeans. Who was he?
Keeshan.
That's right, Bob Keeshan, Captain Kangaroo. That man we woke up to every morning for so many years, Captain Kangaroo. Here's a face-off going for a lanyap of 20 points. April 29th will be the 83rd anniversary of the birth of an American
St. Martin's,
jazz
Johnson.
Duke Ellington.
Correct. Duke Ellington it will be. Composer, band leader, pianist, Duke. is a subject of a review. Sophisticated lady. Lanyap of 20 points coming up in 1982 Boston Marathon. First and second place winners were separated by only 2 seconds, if you remember, for 5 points apiece. Name the winner and also the runner-up.
Alberto Salazar and Beardsley.
Correct. Dick Beardsley, Alberto Salazar was the winner. In the marathon, now we're going back. Going back to 78, the marathon of 78, the winner also outdueled the runner-up by 2 seconds again. For 5 points apiece, name the winner and runner-up for that year.
Rogers. The winner was Rogers.
That's correct.
And Shorter came in second.
No, another great runner who's been up there among the top 2 or 3, but the runner-up in this case was Jeff Wells. You have 3 of the 4, 15 points. St. Martin. We're going for Lanyap now, 25 points. This is the face-off. Scientists told Congress last week that there is no doubt the Earth's climate has changed in the last
Sacred Heart
40 years.
Windhorst.
The sunlight is decreasing by 0.1%, the energy of the sun.
No, I'm afraid that's not the answer we're looking for. We'll repeat. Scientists told Congress last year that there's no doubt the Earth's climate has changed in the past 40 years, and there are signs of rising temperatures that could threaten human life within 2 generations. For 10 points, what is the culprit?
St. Martin's de Mont.
Already taken.
Carbon dioxide?
That's it, increased levels of carbon dioxide. What some scientists and writers call the greenhouse effect. You now have a Lanyap of 25 points. You'll earn 5 points apiece for correctly identifying the women who are described as follows. 1, a founding member of the National Organization for Women. She wrote The Feminine Mystique.
Frieden.
That's right. Author of children's books such as Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing.
Judy Blume.
Bloom.
Right, Judy Blume. 3rd, editor of Cosmopolitan magazine since 1965. She wrote
Helen Gurley Brown.
Helen Gurley Brown. The woman on whose life The Sound of Music was based.
Von Trapp.
That's right, Von Trapp Maria. Author of mysteries, tales of magic and legend such as The Crystal Cave and children's books.
Stewart.
You wiped them out on that one, 25 points. Wow. Buzzer has sounded. That means that we're about to embark now on our rapid fire. In rapid fire, as you know, I ask the questions as quickly as they're answered. If you answer correctly now, it's 10 points. Answer incorrectly, it's a -5. And of course, there are no referrals as you'll find in face-offs. You have only 1 answer per question, and we continue until the end of the countdown, which is 2 minutes in length. Now then, on our rapid fire, we'll have a potpourri. Is that how you pronounce it? Potpourri of everything and anything based on general knowledge and with no particular theme and no alphabetical arrangement of answers. So, as Yogi Berra once said, it's every man or woman for himself. If you're ready, here we go. Number 1. Number 1. French for high society is...
St. Martin's Johnson.
It's Haute Monde. Secondly, in the recent Academy Award, she won the Best Supporting
St. Martin Zander.
Maureen Stapleton. Composer of the opera La Boheme.
Sacred Heart Windhorst.
Verdi.
No, this is Puccini. The name of the satellites that went to Mars and Saturn were what?
St. Martin's Johnson.
Mariana.
No, it was Voyager. Co-founder of Hull House, who also won a
St.
Nobel
Martin's
Peace
Johnson.
Prize.
Jane Addams.
That's correct. Finance Minister of West Germany from 1966 to 69. Anybody remember Franz Joseph Strauss? In Greek mythology, the region through which the dead pass en route to Hades.
St. Martin's Zander.
Styx.
No, this is Erebus. Erebus. Singer known as the Swedish Nightingale.
Sacred Heart Bost.
Jenny Lind. Imprisoned Polish leader of the Solidarity.
Sacred Heart Johnson.
That's right. Chemical element represented by the symbol V.
St. Martin's Johnson.
Vanadium. 14th to 15th century Dutch scholar and theologian.
St. Martin's Johnson.
Erasmus.
Erasmus is right. The American spaceship which first took men to the moon.
St. Martin's Johnson.
Apollo. 11.
Correct. A space with nothing at all in it.
St. Martin's Zander.
Vacuum.
That's right. A word for the cold, dry north wind that blows over the Mediterranean coast of France. What is it called? It's called a Mistral, or Mistral. Famous German armaments manufacturer. Krupp. German, or rather general term for Muslim priest. The Ayatollah is one of them.
St. Martin's Zandri.
It's Imam, or Imam. Commander of the Greeks at Salamis.
St. Martin's Johnson.
Leonidas.
Themistocles. Dark horse winner of the Best Picture in the recent Academy.
St. Martin's Xander.
Chariots of Fire.
That's right. A limestone deposit hanging down from a cave roof.
St. Martin's Xander.
Stalactite.
That's correct. The joint on which a door or gate swings is what?
Sacred Heart Windhorse.
Hinge.
Correct. A rich fabric with a soft, thick pile. It would have been velvet. Okay. All right. Going to take a breather here for just a moment. Then we'll be back to talk to the contestants about their families. That's the topic of discussion in this particular fair. We feel people be interested in their background a little bit personally. Then we'll continue play, of course. Varsity Quiz Bowl, quarterfinal round. Stay tuned.
Some like it hot, but whether they choose Love in the Afternoon or A Lost Weekend, audiences everywhere go wild about producer, writer, director Billy Wilder. Join the Film Society of Lincoln Center for a gala tribute to Billy Wilder on Live from Lincoln Center. See it Monday evening at 8 on Channel 12.
Back in the studio, you see the score here. It's a low-scoring contest today, so it's a little deceptive because there's only about 3 or 4 questions and answers separating the two teams. Before we continue in the final round, though, we've had some fun finding out from the youngsters about their families and relatives and so on. So we're going to do the same thing right now. Sacred Heart, we'll start, and Annie Voss.
I live with my parents and a brother who's a sophomore Jesuit.
Very good. And you got just one brother or sister?
Yes, just one.
Yeah. You a senior?
I'm a junior.
Junior. See you next year. Judith, how about you, Captain?
My father's an attorney and a state senator, and my mother owns and operates a boutique, and my brother is in his exams for his last semester at Tulane Law School.
Sounds like the Windhorse family is orchestrated for accomplishments.
Hopefully.
Including daughters, Judith. And Susanna, how about you?
My father is the district attorney, and my brother is presently studying the piano, and my mother was a very excellent judge.
That's marvelous. I know you're proud of each and every one of them. How about you, Chris?
I have great parents, and I have 2 brothers that go to Jesuit and a sister that goes to Sacred Heart.
Very good. Well, I see pride and family reflected everywhere I look at Sacred Heart. And I'm sure they're proud of you, too. Isn't that correct? Sacred Heart, good to have you with us. The way St. Martin's have been performing the last couple of years, we found buttons all over the floor here that popped off vests right and left. But one way or another, back again is John Andre. John, what about your family? What can you tell us?
Well, we live in Chalmette, and it's really easy for people to find where I live because it's halfway to their duck camps. But my father's an attorney, and my mother owns a small business, and my brother's a law student at Tulane. And he'll be spending the summer in Greece studying admiralty law.
Very good. Okay, Scott?
My mother's a college student, soon to enroll at Florida State. And my stepmother's a stewardess, and my dad is an airline pilot and a part owner of the camera shop, which is located uptown at 7505 Maple. 861-8557.
Are you quite through, or do you want to keep the meter running?
No, it's 861-0277.
He wants to keep the meter running. Hans, can you tell us about your family without indulging in commercials or other side trips there?
Well, I'm a 3rd-generation Norwegian immigrant, I guess you could say. And I live with my parents and my little sister, Pierce. And my grandfather teaches chemistry at Tulane. And, you know, I have a big family.
You sure do.
They're all here.
And one of your proudest boosters is your granddad, too, who isn't here with us because he couldn't be, but has been in the past. How about you, Jill?
Well, I live with my father, who's a CPA, and my mother, who's a housewife, and my 2 little brothers. And my grandfather sells supplies to Hans's dad, and my great-aunt plays cards with Hans's mom. We all like to keep it in the family.
I'm afraid to ask anything more. You're going to wind up with boards listing all the products out here. St. Martin, we're always happy to have you with us. You've got a great sense of humor, and you're darn good. All right, here we go. Second half about to begin. And we'll move it right along with a visual face-off leading up to a lanyap of 30 points. Please direct your attention to the monitors in front of you where you'll see a very famous painting entitled Bullfight Scene, the Picadores. For 10 points, name the famous artist.
Sacred Heart bust.
Goya.
That is right, Goya. All right. Okay, Sacred Heart jumps right on one here to start this second half, and you got a chance to pick up 30 more on a three-pointer. Identify the following splinter political parties. Now, these are all American splinter parties. One, a mid-19th century group that would allow only native-born citizens to hold office and advocated the repeal of naturalization laws. They formed the Native American Party, but it was better known as what? What do they call it?
No Nothings.
That's right, it was. No Nothings, 10 more points. Secondly, for 10, a group of Southerners advocating states' rights and racial segregation ran a presidential candidate in 1948. What was this states' rights party called?
Dixie?
Give me the full name. Can you?
Dixie Party.
No, it was Dixiecrats. Dixiecrats. All right, third, Senator McGovern and Governor Wallace called themselves this, but the term originally grew out of an agrarian's protest in the late 19th century. What is the term by which the party they formed is known? General term in American parlance.
Populist?
Populist is right, 2 out of 3. You got 20 points. They were indeed. All right, here's another face-off team. We're going into a 20-point lanyap, and this is the question. On April 19, 1782, the United Netherlands accepted the first United States envoy to that country. For 10 points, who was he?
St. Martin Sander.
Benjamin Franklin.
No, that's not correct. Can you take it?
Sacred Heart, Malachi.
Pinckney.
No, this was John Adams. John Adams was our first envoy to the Netherlands. Another face-off in this well-known novel. The authoritarian government of Oceania, battling the forces of freedom and love, regularly scheduled 2-minute hate sessions, culminating eventually with a hate week. For 10 points, identify the novel.
St. Martin's de Mont.
1984.
You're right. 1984 by George Orwell. All right, here's your lanyap, St. Martin. Sound waves striking a microphone are converted into electrical signals that can be fed into an oscilloscope. This displays them on a screen in the form of waves. Okay, for 5 points apiece, answer the following questions about them. First, what is the term for the height of the wave on an oscilloscope?
Amplitude.
That's correct for 5. For 5 more, the amplitude and loudness of sound directly or inversely proportional.
Directly.
Right. What is the term for the distance between 2 waves?
Wavelength.
Correct. And finally, is the pitch or sound higher or lower the closer the waves are to each other?
It's higher.
You got them all. That's 20 points. Another face-off. We're leading up now to a lanyap at 20. You do not have to be good at arithmetic to figure out how many years elapsed between the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the delivery of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address.
St. Martin's Jonathan.
Age 7.
That's exactly right. Or the 407 years that Abraham Lincoln referred to in his Gettysburg Address. You have a lanyap at 20. Congress long ago passed the Equal Rights Amendment, but it's yet to be ratified by the requisite number of states. For 5 points apiece, tell me the following. First, in what year, Equal Rights Amendment, in what year was the amendment passed by Congress originally?
Sean?
This takes some thinking now, doesn't it?
79.
No, it goes way back to 1972. I've been wrestling with this one. Second, name the first state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment.
Tennessee.
It was Hawaii. Hawaii. Third, what is the only northern industrial state that has not as yet ratified ERA? One holdout.
Illinois.
That's right. And finally, what specific date is the deadline for the amendment's passage? What the exact date?
June 13th, 1982.
Oh, sorry. June 30th is the exact date, but you pick up 5 more points. We have another face-off. All right. We're pointing for a 20-point lanyap. The face-off is this. This master of Art Nouveau designs and jewelry experimented with and gave his name to the use of glass as a sculptural medium. For 10 points, can you name him? Anyone?
St. Martin's Andrew.
Warhol.
Nope. Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart Windhorse.
Calder.
Nope. Gentleman's name is René Lalique. We have another face-off. The most publicized of all typhoid fever carriers was a source
Sacred
of
Heart
nine...
Bast.
Typhoid Mary?
That's right. It was Typhoid Mary. It was a source of 9 outbreaks beginning in 1903. Here's a line up at 20. The most prestigious awards in broadcasting are the Peabodys. For 5 points, what university group administers them? Peabodys. Where do they come from? They're handled
Princeton.
by... What's that?
Princeton.
No, they're handled by the University of Georgia, specifically their School of Journalism and Communication. Second question, NBC and MTM received a joint award for a TV series for 5 points. Name it. This was last year. Ask for an answer.
Hill Street Blues.
That's right, it was Hill Street Blues. According to the competition, that's about the only program that could have received an award at NBC. They're wallowing in their own success. For a final 5 points apiece, name the network receiving an award for Viewpoint, Nightline, and America Held Hostage, and the Hollywood comedian who received an award for his special with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. The network was?
ABC.
Correct for 5. The performer was performing with the orchestra. Special award, Danny Kaye. You got 2 of them, that's 10 points. Sacred Heart, another face-off. We're going for a landing-up at 25. For a kind of trivial 10, but kind of interesting. How many different songs do the major AM radio stations play during a day? They average them out in a certain way, and it usually ends up within this perimeter. Anybody?
Sacred Heart Windhorse.
Take a shot.
40.
No, afraid not.
St. Martin's Jonathan.
50.
No. They brought them down now to between 20 and 30 scientifically. Never fails. All right, we'll go on to another face-off for a quick 10. Where are the only snakes in Ireland now?
St. Martin's Jonathan.
In the Loch Ness.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. Can you take it? Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart Windhorse.
Anaconda.
No, this is devious. In the Dublin Zoo is where they... Please don't throw things. My back is turned. The face-off goes for a landing up at 25. For 10 points, tell me, which direction does your compass point?
Sacred Heart Windhorse.
North Magnetic.
No, he was trying to psych it. I'll have to repeat now in its entirety for St. Martin's. For 10 points, tell me, which direction does your compass point when you were at the North Pole? Technically, where would it
St.
point?
Martin's Xander.
South.
That's right, south. Magnetic north is the Bathurst Island. North Central Canada, south of the geographic North Pole. Here is a face-off going for a lanyap. No, we just got it. Lanyap you got, 25 points, or you can get it. If you can answer these 4, make it 5. Betty Davis has won 2 Academy Awards. Jane Fonda, Greer Garson, Ellen Burstyn, 1 each. For 5 points apiece. Now name the film or films for which each of these actresses won awards. We'll start with Betty Davis.
Jezebel.
She has won 2. What were the films?
Yeah.
Jezebel and Dark Victory.
Jezebel is correct. The other was Dangerous. All right, Jane Fonda's award came for what?
Coming home. And
Ask for an answer.
Clute. Yes, Coming Home and Clute.
Well, we have to have one. You name Coming Home first. Clute is the one. She only won the one. All right. Greer Garson would be.
Mrs. Miniver.
Mrs. Miniver.
That's right. And finally, Ellen Burstyn.
Mary doesn't live here anymore.
Need the exact title.
Alice doesn't live here anymore.
You got the exact title. You got 3 of them, 15 points. St. Martin, another face-off. We're going for a landing up at 20. For 10 points. In what year did the last execution by guillotine occur in France?
Sacred Heart Malachi.
1791.
No, I'm afraid not. This will be a surprise, I guess, to a lot of people. St. Martin's, anybody?
St. Martin's Dumont.
1797.
Surprisingly enough, the last execution was 1977, at which point France decided to outlaw it as capital punishment. All right, we'll move on to another face-off. Here's Bob Marley's death from lung cancer last year drew attention to his crusade.
St. Martin's Jonathan.
Reggae.
That's right, it was. He was a great performer. Caribbean rhythms of reggae. We have a lanyap of 20 points for 5 apiece. Tell me, in what modern country the following ancient cities were located? First,
was in Iraq.
Do you want the modern country?
Yes, that's right.
Iraq.
Correct. Troy.
Turkey.
Modern country.
Turkey.
Correct. Carthage.
Carthage was in Libya.
Tunisia.
You've got it again. And finally, Byblos or Byblos, B-Y-B-L-O-S would be the name of the city.
Egypt.
Actually, it was Lebanon. You have 3 of the 4, and that's 15 more points for St. Martin. There's another face-off. We're going for a landing up at 20. For 10 points, name the Persian oil Sheikhdom. This is a Persian Gulf oil sheikhdom that last year had
St.
the
Martin's,
world's...
Xander.
Qatar.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. I'll repeat now for Sacred Heart. Name the Persian Gulf oil sheikhdom that last year had the world's largest average annual income, according to a survey by a World Bank.
Sacred Heart, Windhorse.
Abu Dhabi.
No, this was Kuwait. Kuwait. Another face-off, and it's a quickie for a quick 10. What does Kremlin mean?
St. Martin's, Jonathan.
Head of government.
No, I'm afraid it does not.
Sacred Heart, Bast.
Fortress.
That's right, fortress. You now have a lanyard for 20. This is about musicians. You'll receive 10 points apiece for each of these musicians you can correctly identify. The first one, this Broadway composer was honored recently in a ceremony at the Smithsonian Institute.
A-Bear. A-Bear?
Yeah, she's giving it A-Bear, and it's Herbert. Okay, we'll accept it one way or another. This rock singer received the 1982 Hall of Fame Award in Toronto, Canada, honoring Canada's top...
Neil Young.
That's right. You got them both 20 points. Another face-off. Okay, we're leading up to 20-point lanyard. The same last name is shared by the wife of a drama critic and the author of Please Don't...
Sacred Heart, Windhorse.
Please Don't...
Jojo,
Anyhow.
Dog-Faced Boy.
We'll never complete that one, obviously. The buzzer is sounded. The game is officially over. We'll have to take an official count on the score before we can declare the winner. And the team that will advance to the semifinals. One of 4 still left in this tournament. I'll be right back.
Saudi Arabia was once one of the most isolated countries on the face of the earth. Overnight, it became one of the wealthiest. Join us as we bring you the most unprecedented televised look at the fascinating society that has emerged from this. A land where kings in tents, women in veils, and execution by beheading exist in a computerized commercial oil and money giant. And why? Join us as we unveil Saudi Arabia in the race with time.
See you Tuesday evening at 8 on Channel 12.
We're back again, and this is the final score. It's been validated. St. Martin's, the defending champion in our Quiz Bowl tournament, 200. Sacred Heart, 85. And what a comeback they made in the second half when they were just completely blank. One way or another, St. Martin's will be back to take on Newman next week in one of our 2 semifinal games. Boy, there is a matchup. To say these 2 schools are rivals would be to put it mildly. And in the other game, we have Hanville, which continuously, year after year, has advanced higher and higher in our tournament against a former finalist, De La Salle. Sacred Heart, we got to say goodbye, but somebody's coming back to join me next year, right? On the end, we have Ann Most. Ann, how about you? Judith, you're graduating, and
yes, sir.
I guess Susanna is too.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. At this point, it's really terrible to ask these demanding questions. Chris, you're graduating. Very good. Good luck to you. And once again, Sacred Heart. Fine performance. 3 straight victories to bring them all away. St. Martin's back against Newman. It'll be Hanville versus De La Salle, and we'll see you next week as we move closer to the championship game. Bye-bye.
The questions on Varsity Quiz Bowl are prepared and authenticated by the WYES editorial research staff and are known in advance only by the quizmaster, producer, judge, and researcher. All 64 schools participating in our year-long tournament are matched by blind draw. Selection of team members and methods of preparation are the sole responsibility of the schools and their coaches.